here. You're listening to Ashley's Story on BBC Radio Scotland. We've entered the final hour. I'm joined as always by sidekick Silent Paul. Lynn Williams says, I'm glad you're playing ABBA. I was going to ask you to play this. Well, I'm glad we played something that you were going to ask us to play. Lynn Williams, we have got scores in for David Lynch, our Hollywood swinger. He's our Hollywood star who has swung into music. Lynn Williams, our offsite adjudicator, says, total pants. Quite possibly one of the worst Hollywood swingers ever. Can I give a minus score? 0 from me for now. 0 Kenny Rogers roasters with a huge no from Lynn Williams, our offsite adjudicator. Thank you so much for getting in touch. Digital Boyd disagrees and gives 100 Kenny Rogers roasters to David Lynch.
It's like all of his shows and films. It's very divisive.
Simon gives 99.5 Kennys. Spin gives 63 Kennys. Dorian gives 56 Kenny Rogers roasters. Francisco Flamenco gives 70. Ovid gives 77, and Pip and Freddie give 84. Eric from Sweden says, having grown up with Twin Peaks, which is unforgettable, and actually liking the Dune movie, that song is just what I would have expected from the man. Sweden gives Mr. Lynch 64 Kenny Rogers roasters, and thank you, Paul, for getting that stuck in my head. Happy New Year, you too. Katie says, oh no, Katie's just asked, how do I get a boyfriend? I don't I'm the David Lynch of dating.
Be yourself, but not too much yourself from at the start.
No, be 100% yourself. Don't emotionally catfish people. Don't be like, hey, I'm really cool and fun. Lay your cards on the table. Lay your cards on the table.
Don't put
there is nothing worse. Put it all out on the table.
No,
every mental thing you've ever thought.
No, because everybody, we've all got mental thought. You still know it. They're still going to, when you're in a relationship, there's still a lot of hiding all the 100%.
Don't hide it.
But you just
be yourself.
Gradually
don't listen to Paul.
Ease in some of it. Yeah, don't talk to Paul, who's been in a relationship for over a decade and has a child.
Listen to Ashley.
Listen to Ashley, who's had a boyfriend for 3 months one time.
No, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I like to date on a fringe scale. I don't date any longer than a fringe festival. NBA fan says, I love David Lynch's movies, but I didn't like that song. It reminded me of Around the World by Daft Punk. I give it 50 Kenny Rogers roasters. Enjoying the show. It's relaxing me after discovering a burst water pipe in my garage that can't be fixed until next week. NBA fan, that's rubbish. Alan Mark says, David Lynch. Oh, I've done something. David Lynch.
You need to try that. What's that tape that you see on shopping channels?
Gaffer tape.
And it's like a special tape that they just see them stick it on like the side of a boat and go pfft.
And then it makes it water.
Look at this.
Okay, Barry Scott, calm down. I don't know.
Well, it's Barry Scott type people that sell it.
It's aggressive tape. Find that aggressive tape from the shops and tell us if it works, NBA fan.
Other adhesive tapes that might or might not
fix
stem
holes.
the tide of water are available.
Are they?
I'm sure.
Alan Mark says David Lynch might have sounded better played backwards. Awful. 5 Kenny Rogers roasters. Get in touch via text 80295. Let us know your score for David Lynch, our Hollywood swingers. We've got a song up next which is 4 minutes and 59 seconds, which should be enough for Paul to go do a pee. Here's Jackson Browne with Running on Empty.
At least it's not a brown I'm doing.
It's terrible.
Look if it takes all night, that'll be alright. If I can get you to smile before I leave, looking out at the road rushing under my wheels, I don't know how to tell you all just how crazy this life feels. Look around for the friends that I used to turn to pull me through. Looking into their eyes, I see them running too. Running on empty, running blind, running into the sun, but I'm running behind. Honey, you really tempt me, you know the way you look so kind. I'd love to stick around, but I'm running behind. Running on, you know I don't even know what I'm hoping to find. Running blind, running into the sun, but I'm running behind.
That was Jackson Browne with Running on Empty. Paul is back in the studio, thank goodness. And we have got scores to read out for our Hollywood swinger, David Lynch. Mrs. Harris has been in touch and she said, Swinger, very good, lively, intriguing, mysterious lyrics, avant-garde, perfect to go clubbing, 87 Kenny Rogers roasters. What's wrong with people today? John and Fiona in Pennsylvania have got in touch and says, hi Ashley and Paul, sounds like a mashup of Neil Young, Trans and Cher's Do You Believe in Love? Unfortunately that equates to a Kenny Roger roaster score of 5. Thank you for having good sense. Who else have we got, Paul? Phil Lamb's been in touch and says, oh Ashley and Silent Paul, we were having a good day today until that song showed up in our ears. Ouch. 0 Kenny Rogers roasters. Still loving the show. However, as always, Phil and Vicky in our wee caravan. Thank you so much for getting in touch. It's so difficult to sort of qualify or quantify whether David Lynch is a genius or an idiot, but I'm so glad that other people are on my side and I don't feel too foolish, because at first when I was like I hated that and we got messages through saying that was great, I did feel like I might be an idiot.
I think it's very valid. I think that's what he intentionally does with these films, where if you say it's rubbish, then people just say, well, you're just an idiot that didn't understand it. No one understands it. He's even said that he makes this stuff up. Naomi Watts on the set of Mulholland Drive said that, oh, it was like torture. We would ask him like as if he got a wry smile out of it whenever we asked him what's happening.
I'm going to guess...
What's the story here? What's the script? And he wouldn't say anything. He went, you don't need to know.
Me and David Lynch would
doesn't know.
Fundamentally not get on. Because if that's the kind of vibe, I can't deal with that. I need to know where I'm going, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I cannot... Do you remember when I filmed and the director said something mildly directory to me and I had to phone you and say, what does flying over Honesty Town mean? Because I was acting, he was like, okay Ashley, you're just like a truth eagle flying over Honesty Town. And I had to phone Paul and be like, I don't know what that means. And then once I told him I'd phoned you, he got very offended and clarified what a truth eagle flying over Honesty Town was. I'm kidding, he didn't. I just guessed. I think it's like close to the truth, but not really the truth. But I don't like it. I like direct. Like the word direct is indirector. Be direct. Lynch.
You could direct people.
Don't be vague. Don't be odd.
I think he loves it. He said when he casts people in his films, he doesn't ever do auditions or check how they can act. He just has like one or two casual conversations with them and looks at their headshot and goes, yeah.
Oh, no, I don't like it. There's not enough thought going into it. And do you know what? I think he would enjoy making me anxious, because it would be art. I feel like he'd think that, and I'm putting a lot of weight onto what I think my relationship with David Lynch would be like, but I just think it would be bad, and I don't think it's for me. So I'm going to have to turn down any part you offer me, like in Twin Peaks 7 or Double Peaks or whatever your next Two Mountain film is. Sorry, David Lynch. Right, let me get to Joan and Davy from Helensburgh, because I was going to read their message out earlier, but we got distracted. So here we are. Hi, Ashley and Paul, says Joan and Davy from Helensburgh. We have been good the last 2 weeks and missed texting you guys.
haven't.
We just love how no matter what subject comes up, you always manage to make everyone laugh and cheer them up. We hope that you have the best new year, and the next year is full of love, joy, happiness, and full of prosperity. Thank you so much for getting in touch. That is very, very kind, and we're lovely. We're lovely. I don't even know what I was trying.
David Lynch has messed you up.
David
now.
Lynch has really thrown me through.
But that's
a
what he
loop.
wants to do. You fell for his trick.
Oh, I feel like I want to fight him now. Will you give me honours against David Lynch?
I don't know. He seems like a bit of a wild card. I'd be scared of what he did.
I think David Lynch could easily beat both of us and that
But I
seagull.
don't know what he would do and how would he actually do it.
Probably.
Where's the seagull come into it?
Well, I just think, who's the other most violent person we're afraid of? And it's not a person, it's the seagull
It's
that
the
attacks
seagull
you out the
outside,
car
yeah.
park. So me, you, the seagull versus David Lynch.
I still think he would
I
win.
still think he would win. I know, that's the worst part about it. Breege has been in touch and she says, hi, Ashley and Paul. That was a really difficult Hollywood
Remember that
swinger.
time a seagull flew into Fabio's face? Sorry, I just like thinking about it every now and again.
It's up there with one of my favourite things that ever happened and was caught on camera. It's like that and the man who goes on breakfast television to show the very old wax disc, what's the recording, one of the first recordings ever, and he picks it up and it shatters. That's
Anyway,
up there.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
Breege. Right, Breege says, hi Ashley and Paul. That was a rather difficult Hollywood swinger. I felt that as David Lynch used synthesizers, it was quite difficult to make a proper judgment in terms of how good his voice was. It did have quite a nice dancey sound to it, but was occasionally slightly out of tune. I'm going to give him 65 Kerry Rogers roasters. A very happy new year to you and all my fellow listeners. Breege, you are too kind. That reads like a 1-star review, and you've gave him 3.5. Breege, you're too nice.
She's just a very nice person.
She's a very nice person. Now I feel like I'm bullying David Lynch. Goodness, I'm under so much pressure. Here's Queen and David Bowie.
Pressure but it don't work. Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn. Insanity loves under pressure, we're breaking. Can we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love that one more chance? Why can't we give love, 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 give love? Such an old-fashioned word, and love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night, and love dares you to change our way of caring about ourselves. This is our last dance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves. Under pressure. Under pressure. Pressure.
That was Queen and David Bowie with Under Pressure. I love that song. It like touches something deep in my heart. I feel like it's one of the best. Who wrote that? Did Queen and David Bowie write that, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, they wrote that in like an hour or something.
Are you serious?
They went in a studio, had no idea what to do, and they were just having a jam, and they were doing something else, and then they were like, this isn't really working, and then they just did that.
See, that's genius, David Lynch.
Yeah.
That's very good indeed. Right, we've got some more scores in. Jane Jones says, chin up, Ashley, I'm right with you. David Lynch isn't either a genius or an idiot. He's a chancer. Oh, Jane Jones throwing salt on David Lynch there. We've got a message from our friend Martin in Orkney who says, late one for the swinger. I don't mind me a bit of electronica, but there's a limit, and I sort of feel like I drew the line in the sand and Lynch grabbed Kyle MacLachlan's dismembered leg from the fifth dimension and rubbed the line back out again. The sound effects man shakes head. 5 Kenny Rogers roasters, Martin in Orkney. P.S. Have a smashing New Year's Eve and a great new year when it comes, guys. Cheers for the company and the laughs this year. Thank you, Martin in Orkney.
We need
Thank
more
you.
sound effects.
No, we can't have sound effects. We misuse them and abuse them, and we don't want to end up being like one of these sound effect radio DJs.
Yeah, we do.
I think that maybe we can only have sound effects if it's noises we can make ourselves.
That was a very good one you did there.
Thank you. That was a good horn. I've been practicing because I'm back on the stage soon, and that's my main draw is the horn noise.
That's how you draw a laugh after every joke.
Yeah.
None of the jokes are good, but
No.
you just, as soon as you do that after
But
every one.
you know how last week you said to me that I wouldn't survive going back in time to like the 60s or the 70s because I'd go back in time and do my stand-up comedy and it would all be about me being autistic and nobody would laugh because that wasn't a thing then. I had a genuine nighttime think about it after the show, and I was like, do you know what? My horn-based material would work really well. Also, my William Shatner based material would still work really well.
I don't think it would.
I think it would.
Because a lot of it's based on love that grew over years and years.
No, I feel like people still made fun of William Shatner when he was like fresh. So I think that I could pull off my William Shatner material, and I think my Trekkie material would be fresh at the time as well. So thank you very much. But I think I would succeed if I went back in time to the 60s.
I think that needed time to percolate. That needed at least a decade.
Well, do you know what? We can't decide who's right or wrong because we don't have a time machine, but I know myself and I feel like I could do it. So I could
Don't
survive.
talk for me. You don't know if I've got a time machine or not.
You definitely don't have a time machine, mate. I know you don't have a time machine. If you had a time machine...
Why are you being cruel?
I'm not being cruel. I'm just saying if you had a time machine, you would have placed a lot of small bets. And would be substantially better off.
That's what my day job is.
You're absolute nonsense. Get in touch via text 80295. Let us know.
Choose a different bookmakers or casino every day.
Let us know which period in time you would go back to and would you survive. I think also, I've thought about it, I could go back to the Roman times. Yes, there wouldn't be chips, but I could invent the crop toga.
You're not going to... And there's still no market. There's no mass market distribution. You're not going to make money.
Men and women love showing off their belly buttons. Fact.
What if you went back to like the 60s and before like the McDonald's brothers made McDonald's and Ray Kroc stole the idea allegedly.
Michael Keaton got involved.
You just took that method of cooking.
Ugh, that's too much
and
hard work.
started, I mean, that's
If
it.
I could go back to the 60s, I would essentially, the thing that I would do is I would just write Hamilton the hip hop musical and blow everybody's minds.
But it wouldn't blow everybody's mind at the time because it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't work.
I would have invented
Nobody would
rap.
like it at the
and
time. Nobody would like rap when you did it in the 60s.
don't know. Stop telling me what you think.
That took years and years of progression through music to get to the point where that was cool. If you just hit out with that,
you don't know.
that's not going to work.
You don't know. I could. Well, I think I'm just saying. I think I could succeed
If
in the
you took
60s.
Cher's Believe song,
Bang! People in the 60s
if you played
would
that
love
in the
it.
60s, that I bet you that wouldn't even get played on the radio.
I bet you it would. Well,
But it wouldn't. They would
let's
go,
just
that's
wait
not real
until-
music. What is that nonsense?
wait until time machines are a thing, Paul.
Bob
and you
Dylan
will
played
be
an electric
proven
guitar
wrong.
once and he almost started a riot at a folk festival.
Well, I'm not going to play Cher's Believe at a folk festival, Paul. I'm going to play it somewhere cool, like a disco-rama. So get that thought out your head.
Work.
I just disagree with you wholeheartedly. Can we move on? Because this is getting like a weird podcast where it's us arguing about time travel hypotheticals. And as much as it's fun and we both like it, I think we're losing the audience.
If we were going to lose them, we'd have
We
lost them by now.
You're right. Here's Dana Carroll and The Perfect Year from Sunset Boulevard.
Bring out the old, bring in the new. A midnight wish to share with you. Your lips are warm, my head is light. Were we in love before tonight? Oh, I don't need a crowded ballroom. Everything I want is here. If you're with me, next year will be the perfect year. No need to hear the music play. Your eyes say all there is to say. The stars can fade and they can shine, long as your face is next to mine. I don't need a crowded ballroom. Everything I need is here. If you're with me, next year will be the perfect year. We don't need a crowded ballroom. Everything we need is here. If you're with me, next year will be the perfect year. It's New Year's Eve and hopes are high. Dance 1 year in, kiss one goodbye. Another chance, another start. So many dreams to tease the heart. We don't need a crowded ballroom. Everything we need is here. And face to face, we will embrace the perfect year. Oh, we don't need a crowded ballroom. Everything we need is here.
was Dinah Carroll with The Perfect Year. Watson Beatty from Paisley's got in touch and says, great to hear Queen with Brian May. Now Sir Brian May in the New Year's honours list. And fun fact, because we like to play Ashley Gump, where I've been near celebrities, I once ate a poached egg next to Brian May. And then I talked about it on a podcast, and then William Shatner wrote to me and said, I've just listened to the podcast where you ate an egg near Brian May. So
Did Brian May react in any way to the egg eating?
I gave him a smile and he smiled back.
He seems like the kind of guy that would just smile at you, but
Well, what
out
am
of
I-
politeness.
He was with people. I was with people. What am I going to do? Stop eating my Beaufort Brown to be like, oh, hi, Brian May. I really like your wife's cover of EastEnders theme tune.
You should have.
No, I should have. I wish I hadn't. I regret it. I've never been more entrenched with regret.
Well, they might have asked you a question about your egg.
He might have asked me a question about my egg, but he
Bit
didn't.
rude.
He didn't. Though, when I was sitting in that noodle bar and the wee man from Mott the Hoople sat beside me, he asked me about my noodles.
Yeah, he seems a nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
Someone's got an egg, you should always just ask, how's your egg?
Right, okay, that's Paul's rule for 2023. If you see someone with an egg, you say, how's your egg?
I think it takes a lot of conviction to eat an egg outside.
What do you mean? I eat egg all the time outside. What
No,
does
but
that
it
mean?
just seems weird now.
What do you mean?
If I saw someone just eating a hard-boiled egg in the street,
Oh,
I'd
but
be
I
like,
do all the time.
that's strange. But I'm not against it.
It's good protein. It's high energy. You
Yeah, I
know
know.
when you know those wee hard-boiled eggs you get in plastic tubs. I'm the person who buys all of
Yeah, but
them.
there's not many people that eat them in public because of the connotations of the smell of it and stuff. But
I'm sorry, there are egg connotations. I knew that there was glizzy connotations, but I didn't know there was egg connotations.
yeah,
Great. So now hot dogs and eggs are off my list because there's connotations to eating one outside.
yeah.
I want to live my life
Imagine
authentically.
people in the past. That is why you would probably like to go back to the 60s because you could
I can
probably
eat hard-boiled eggs.
pull an egg out of your pocket, a little sachet of salt, and eat it, and it would be fine.
I
But if you
don't-
did that now, I think people would look at you weird.
Okay, I don't need to go back in time to have done that. I have pulled a hard-boiled egg out my pocket, put a wee bit of salt from a sachet on it and gobbled it down because hard-boiled eggs are great and I love them.
Yeah,
and I
people
didn't
would have
think
thought you were strange.
I didn't ask. I didn't do a survey afterwards being like, hey guys, did you think that was weird that I whapped out a
Don't
hard-boiled
get
egg?
aggressive with you. I'm with you. I don't think it should be
I
weird.
don't
It
feel
just is.
like you're with me,
And
Paul.
what I'm trying to say is people should just say, if you see someone eating an egg, just go, not in a mocking sense, just go, how's your egg?
Or if you don't want to do that, just go, oof. And then when they say what, go, French for egg. They'll love it. Margaret Force Plainfield says, hi Ashley and Paul, very best wishes to you both for the new year. Thank you so much. And we've got a message here that says, Merry Christmas to you two and have a happy new year when it comes. Leanne and me are massive David Lynch fans, with Eraserhead being one of Leanne's favourite films. Oi, Dune is not rubbish and the pug bit is in the books. Wild at Heart is another favourite of Leanne's and Leanne has the soundtrack on vinyl. Twin Peaks is great. Okay, Ashley, don't like weird, fair point, but the man is a legend. It's 15 Kenny Rogers roasters and I never want to hear that again. So that's from David Lynch fans have said, no, we don't want to hear that again. Thank you so much, Chris and Leanne, for getting in touch, and I hope you have a lovely new year when it comes. Next up, it's another song from a musical, this one from Chess. It's Elaine Page and Barbara Dixon with I Know Him So Well.
Nothing is so good it lasts eternally. Perfect situations must go wrong, but this has never yet prevented me wanting far too much for far too long. Looking back, I could have played it differently. One a few more moments, who can tell? But it took time to understand the man. Now at least I know him well. Wasn't it good? So good. younger then. Now at least I know him well. Wasn't it good? Oh, so good. Wasn't he fine? Isn't it madness? He won't be mine. Didn't I know how it would go if I knew from the start? Why am I falling apart? Wasn't it good? Wasn't he fine? Isn't it madness? He won't be mine. But in the end, he needs a little bit more than me. More security and freedom. I know him so well. It took time to understand him. I know him so well.
That was so good. There was Elaine Page and Barbara Dixon with I Know Him So Well. Lynn is in bed, harmonising, singing along. I was trying to sing all the parts. Paul was trying to do work, but I would not answer his questions, not engage with his time counting, because it was too hardcore singing that song where two women fight out a guy who's good at chess. He needs his fantasy and freedom. Ridiculous, right? We've got messages. Ruth's been in touch and she says, hi Ashley and Silent Paul, and hi Marcy. Happy New Year to you all. I'd go back to the 70s in my 20s, but with self-knowledge I have now. I do everything very differently and take no nonsense from no one. I feel like that would be just go back and assure yourself. But I feel like even if I went back in time and I assured a younger version of myself, she would still be like, no, I still feel self-conscious and weird. That's why youth is wasted on the young. Mrs. Harris says, best
You
wishes.
say that as if now, at this age,
What?
that you're actually like have no insecurities and are not still full of the same self-doubt.
Yeah, but like now I can wear like the clothes I like without having. I'm not pretending to be somebody else now. I'm happy within my own insecurities.
Yeah,
whereas
you'll
in,
wear the clothes you like, you'll eat an egg outside.
whereas in my 20s I was like trying to fit in and pretending to be a different
and
person.
would hide an egg in a top pocket and eat it secretly.
And secretly eat my eggs in public in case like some mean boys made fun of me. Paul.
I don't make fun. What do you not listen to with anything I've said? I am saying we should be open to people eating eggs in public.
This is Tone. Mrs. Harris says best wishes to you and Paul
You don't
and both
understand,
families.
Tone. Don't just move on to texts. Continue.
Also, Stru, Colin and Brenda, Marcy in Australia, Jim and Netherly, and all the other listeners from Stirling to Wimbledon to the USA, regulars and you. I don't want to travel back in time. I prefer 400 years forward to be able to jump on a starship for a day to Horsehead Nebula, says Mrs. Harris. Mrs. Harris, that sounds like such a good shout. I wish we could all jump in a Horsehead Nebula spaceship. Orla in Bridge of Ernox says, pop culture time travel, Prince, Super Bowl 2007, Purple Rain, In the Rain. He also did a Foo Fighters cover, so I'd equally love to have seen Dave Grohl's reaction to that. Simply astounding moment in pop history. Totally agree. That moment where he sings Purple Rain and the sky opens up and the rain falls down. Do you know what's just as well though? That nobody left a cake out in that rain. Here's Donna Summer with MacArthur Park.
Spring was never waiting for us, dear. It ran one step ahead as we followed in the dance. The garden's heart is melting in the dark.
all the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left my cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took too long to make it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Oh,
That's Donna Summer with MacArthur's Park. Such a good song. We've got a wee message here. Evening, first time I have texted your great show. I'm old enough to remember watching the Lulu show live on the BBC when the great Jimi Hendrix got bored with what he was playing and broke in to an old cream classic by Jack Bruce. Oh, to relive that again. Amazing. And that is from Alf from Glasgow. Thank you so much, Alf, for getting in touch. And I'm glad that we've got a first time message from you. I hope you have a very happy 2023. Right, we've got a message here. Said I once had a tutor at uni who, mid-class and mid-conversation, went into the top pocket of his waistcoat and pulled out a hard-boiled egg, took it out of the velvety handkerchief he had wrapped in it, and ate it gradually for the remaining half hour of the class. I bet Brian May would have broken his silence for that, says Martin in Orkney. Brian May wasn't silent. He was with friends. He was having a chit-chat, so he wasn't breaking his silence. We've got more on the egg front.
Yeah, more
This
on
is
the egg front.
taking a turn. Hi, Ashley and Paul. I eat boiled eggs in public without any problems. I can't believe this is where we're ending our year. My bus only comes once an hour, so I always have to rush out in the morning without time for breakfast. So while I'm in the shower, I put an egg on the boil and it's ready for me to eat on the bus. And that is Margaret Forbes, Blamefield. Thank you so much for
I
getting in
think
touch.
that's great.
I love that. Well, of course it's great. It's just somebody eating an egg. You're the one who made out that eating an egg in public was a weird thing and that we all have
I'm
to be.
saying it is a weird thing though, and it shouldn't be.
I don't think
I
it
never
is.
made it weird.
Jim and Netherly sent in a joke. Do you want to hear it?
No.
Paul's classical story reminds me of the Hollywood actors who met and were discussing what composers they'd be. Stallone says he'd be Mendelssohn. Willis said Beethoven, and Arnie said, I'll be back. You get it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's laughing on the inside, Jim and Netherly. He's rolling on the floor on the inside, but on the outside,
Ruffling.
he's just showing a straight face. We had more scores for David Lynch and all sorts. There's a 55 Kenny Rogers roasters here from Lauren, who says, hi Ashley and Paul, it's Lauren. A very happy new year to both of you. We will be having snacks and drinks at midnight. We do that every year and it's great. I thought that
What's
song,
a good New Year snack?
cheese, pickle or pineapple on a toothpick stuffed in a potato wrapped in tin foil.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So a cheesy hedgehog.
With an egg.
Ooh, I do like a deviled egg. I do like a deviled egg, right? We're playing you a song next. Oh, hold on, I need to finish Lauren's message. We do that, it's actually quite nice. I'm going to give 55 Kenny Rogers roasters to David Lynch. Anyway, here's a song we're very excited to play. It's Chaz and Dave singing Auld Lang Syne, because why not?
Should all acquaintance be forgotten and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgotten for the sake of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne. We'll take a cup of kindness in for the sake of Auld Lang Syne.
That was Chaz and Dave with Old Lang Syne, and boy oh boy did we enjoy it. In fact, me and Paul think that we should do a Chaz and Dave style Hogmanay show here at BBC Scotland, but for some reason they keep turning me down. Alan Mack's been in touch and says 1977 is the year he would go back to, just as punk was about to explode into the world. You and Never Silent Paul have had me laughing for years. Happy 2023 to you both. Long may your complete and utter nonsense continue. I'd be very disappointed if you ever stop making Off the Ball appear a highbrow programme. Yes, here's the last song of the year. It's Sammy Davis Jr. with We'll Make It This Time.
Let this be the years, the best of the wine. Let your tears and joys be echoed with mine. Every plan we made for touching the sky won't go by. You and I, being all we dare, each mountain we climb, each step and share. We'll make it this time. We'll make it this time. Had my share of dreams, I dreamed all alone. I need you, baby. Now at last I found your dream is my own. Love to have to hold is part of the plan. Tell the man, yes we can. Let the day begin together. We've got a chance to win each chance that we take. We'll make it this time. Let these be the years, the best of the wine. Let your tears and joys be echoed with mine. Every plan we made for touching the sky won't go by. You and I, let the day begin together. We've got a chance to win together. Each chance we take, we'll make it this time. We'll make it this time. We'll make it this time. We'll make it this
That was Sammy Davis Jr. with We'll Make It This Time, and unfortunately that's all the time we have here at BBC Radio Scotland. We're going to hand you over to our very capable friends at BBC Radio 5 Live for the rest of the night. But before we go, let me say a big thank you to some of our listeners: Kate and Sonny Oban, Phil and Vicky, Angel the Trucker, Jane Jones, Morsie, Breege and Lauren, Simon, Mrs Harris, Chris and Leanne, Margaret Forbes, Watson, Beatty, Cat B, Martin and Orkney, Davy and Joan, Colin and Brenda, Jim and Netherly, John and Fiona. A big thank you to Silent Paul, and in fact a big thank you to all of our listeners this year. I hope that you have a wonderful 2023 when it comes. We'll be back next Friday where we'll continue to be your daytime friends but your nighttime lovers. Caw, caw, caw.